I do want to say to Donnie and many of you in this room that over a very long career in this city, all of you have helped me and my colleagues tell the truth and to try to tell.
Get my hat up.
I'm from South Carolina, so I just look at Donnie.
What does this event mean to you, Miss Peggy Moss?
Oh, my heart.
Happy 20th anniversary.
My heart is about loving up on my sisters. Do you know what it feels like to have your sisters in the room? Donnie.
Just what you see in the flesh.
The doctor lived next door to the janitor looked to the reverend and the lawyer. We were together. Now we're just so high and mighty that you create stress for your society because you don't like poor black folks either. That's a health problem. Get yourself together so I can stop being taking care of geriatric people and get back to pediatrics. I thank you, Donnie, for all you've done. Let's keep doing it for all the more.
First name's Donnie, last name's Glover, entered the winning for the long haul, baby. So I hope that you are doing good this morning. Special thank you to all of our sponsors, including Dr. Tyrone Taborn and the Black Engineer of the Year Awards, which is happening this week. Just go to beya.org, beya.org, beya.org. The CIAA will kick off later this month, February 20th through the 26th. Be sure you check that out. Baltimore got extended for an additional 2 years. So we want to make a huge impression on the CIAA to keep it coming back, keep those tens of millions of dollars in Baltimore. Tell you what else is coming back to Baltimore, and that's Beya. So this year will be the last year outside of Baltimore. It's over in D.C. at the Gaylord Hotel. But next year, 2024, election year in Baltimore, Beya will be coming back to Baltimore. Beya has been around for 37 years. So kudos to Dr. Tyrone Taborn and his lovely wife, Jean Hamilton, for this very important experience for our young people to close the digital divide. There's another person who we actually honored on Friday night, Sherryl Logan, who's involved in the very same thing. She does it with her company. She's created a nonprofit. So let's bring her on up. Good morning, Sherryl Logan. How are you?
Hi. Good morning.
You're a morning person?
I have to be because I have children.
Okay. All right. Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Did you enjoy yourself at the Black Wall Street DMV?
I did. It was so inspirational seeing all these successful Black entrepreneurs and highly educated individuals accomplish a lot lifetime. And,
Did anything stand out?
You said what?
Did anything stand out?
Every Beverly Smith. I can't remember everybody else.
Beverly Smith, she does the nonprofit over in Washington, D.C. She does a show on this very network, blackusa.news.
Yeah, and it was funny. I was just driving my daughter to school, and she was on 96.3. So I was like, oh my gosh, I just met her. Wait, what happened? But yeah, so she's super sweet and doing amazing things in the community.
Oh, tell them about you, Sherry Logan. What do you do for What's your 9 to 5?
So I am a system engineer for Wayfair. I manage their virtual
For
environment.
Wayfair?
What's that?
For Wayfair?
Yeah, Wayfair.com with the furniture.
Well, it's so funny you should mention that. What the heck is Wayfair? Apparently, I'm the only
Wayfair.
person on earth who doesn't know what Wayfair is.
I
What's
promise you,
Wayfair?
all the women that are listening know Wayfair. They probably have lots of furniture from there.
Well, that's what I've been relearned and re-educated about. Who is Wayfair? Where did he come from? Where does he live at?
So Wayfair is an online retailer that sells furniture, similar to like Overstock, kind of Amazon, but Amazon sells everything. Wayfair just sells mainly furniture. So I manage their virtual environment because they have employees all over the world in Hawaii and China and the Ukraine. So I pretty much manage the server that all of the remote employees all over the world use to work from, take calls, take orders, resolve issues. So I'm a Citrix system engineer, and we have a bunch of different projects that we work on, updating applications, updating servers, publishing new images, things like that. So prior to Wayfair, I worked for Department of Defense for a long time. And I did the same thing. I was a VDI system engineer. And in my career, I found how the money was run, how these contracts were written, and how a lot of people, specifically Black people, were not knowledgeable as to how you were getting paid. And if you started your own business, how you could make more money. And so I started picking people's brains who were like contracting officers or other business owners, and how everything was run on the back end. And then I also would come across a lot of young individuals who thought you had to be super duper smart to get into the IT field. So I've been helping people get jobs for like 10 plus years. So then I was like, man, I wish I could start something that pretty much showed people how to get into IT, get them certified, help them get jobs, because I have jobs left and right. Uh, but I have to turn them down because I can't work 10 jobs. And so that's where my vision for my nonprofit came, to kind of teach individuals how to get certified and get into the IT field, because sometimes it's kind of hard because you don't have experience, but you want to obtain it. So my program does remote training in the evenings geared towards, working adults. So you can learn how to get certified. And once I get you certified in Security Plus and AWS Cloud, because AWS is more puts you in the position to get remote jobs. So once I get you those certifications, then we can get you working. So that's essentially what I've been doing and where I'm trying to go with my nonprofit.
How come when I call my CN service technician, they send me all the way to damn India, and
India.
I gotta talk. No, I ain't cracking on the people in India,
No.
but I'm trying to get my damn washing machine fixed, and I want to talk to an American. Is that wrong?
Yeah.
Is
And
that wrong?
unfortunately, a lot of these big corporations outsource to India because Indians are very smart, but they are not in America, and they do not, there's a big language barrier.
Wait a minute. I'm going to send you to the overflow department. I'm going to send you to I don't want to go to overflow department. I've been to the overflow department. No, security, supervisor, 911. Okay, I will send you to the overflow department. My brother in Islamabad. And I'm like,
right.
Damn, man.
So all those jobs are in India, but they need to be here in the Black community. They need to be here.
Okay.
So that is my vision. Because unfortunately, that you call, it says press 1 for English, and then thank you very much for calling AT&T, and you can't understand what they're saying.
What's your name?
Huh?
DBD. What is your name? DBD.
they'll say press English for one, push one for English, but you don't get an English speaking person.
I am
So I also
pro-American. I will not back down. Pro-American.
right,
Sears service repair parts sucks. Do not get the warranty. You're better off trying to fix it yourself or YouTube.
right. So yeah, that was another part of my inspiration to start this nonprofit, because there are so many jobs that are with immigrants that no, and I love immigrants. I love Indians. I love Mexicans. I love all kinds of people. I'm mixed with a million things. Um, but
I heard
at
the
the end of the
city.
day,
I heard the
we need
city of
that
DC.
money in the Black community, not in another country.
I heard the city of DC. Their
What's that?
IT, Washington D.C. Their IT department for the city is in India.
Yeah, I mean, I live in
I was at
Maryland, so
I was at an HBCU. The IT department was run by an Indian guy. And I'm not knocking him. I'm just saying, whoa, pimp, y'all ain't the only ones that can work a computer. My people can work the computer too. Okay,
right.
so you got a question on here. Tell them the name of your nonprofit. Is it 501c3?
Yes, it's called Access Point.
Access Point. Is there a website we need to put up?
There is. It's called myaccesspoint.org.
Okay, so tell us more.
Myaccesspoint.org. So it is fairly new, and my first class is scheduled to start now. I had to push it back with it. Hopefully April, May. So
So you're
once I get
signing up.
that going,
You're
you said
signing up
what?
people. You're signing up
Yep, that's
people
it
right
right
here.
there. Myaccesspoint.org.
What age?
So go ahead.
Starting at what age?
Well, you have to be at least a high school graduate, but 18 to and up. My vision, as you know, I love my vision. Not everybody does, but to partner with the prison systems and get a list of inmates' children between the ages of 18 and 25. Because a lot of times when you have an incarcerated parent, you're destined to be an inmate. Okay. So if I can get a hold of you before you develop a criminal record or one that's kind of irreversible, there's some things that we could fix. I've been, I went to Morgan, I lived in Baltimore, I've had my rough path in life, but if I get a hold of you before and I get you trained up, and then I show you how to start a business, and I show you how the money works, and I show you how what to do with it, because that's another part is educating individual on financial, showing you how to do your taxes, showing you how to, um, you know, you you don't have to pay all this money taxes out of pocket. You can write a lot of things off, but a lot of people don't know that they're not educated, and you don't want to give a young person a whole bunch of money and they don't know what to do with it, and then they go waste it partying and stuff. So that's like my vision for the future.
Financial literacy is so everything.
Yes.
How important is credit to running a business?
Credit is, well, my business doesn't need credit because I kind of I don't like taking out loans. But credit in life is very important. Unfortunately, this world runs off of you being in debt. But if you always want to use other people's money, not your own, and if you have bad credit, I used to be a loan officer a long time ago, so there are a lot of things that I could educate people on as far as credit and getting things removed, repairing it, um, and how to move to take out the right types of loans or credit cards to help you rebuild. Because a lot of people are like, "Well, I don't have any credit." Well, that's not great either. But if we can get you a little credit card and you can make little payments, your score will go up. And then let's say you want to buy a house and you have a business, buy it in your business name. And now you don't have debt, but your business has good credit. So there's lots of knowledge that I have that I would love to share with as many individuals as possible.
Why do you care?
I don't know, man. That's just how God made me. I always been like that. I feel like there's people with millions of dollars all over the world, right? But if you're not doing something meaningful with the money, with purpose, it's like, what is the point? If you're not trying to make a difference in somebody else's life or help other people, what is your life purpose? Just to be self-centered and do do a bunch of nothing? You could travel the world and do all these things, but what are you doing to help other people and spread the knowledge?
You mentioned that if one's parent is an inmate, it is quite likely that one will be an inmate. So
Yes.
I'm going to flip the script on you. I am a UK. I don't know if you've ever heard of an undertaker's kid, but I grew
Okay.
up in the funeral industry. So I'm
Mm.
going to ask you,
Mm-hmm.
with you being an entrepreneur, is that added pressure on your children to be an entrepreneur too? Do they like,
Well,
Mommy, I don't want to go to the meeting. I want to go play.
yes. So when my daughters, because one is 15 in high school and the other is getting ready to turn 12 in middle school, um, I don't want to pressure my children, but I want to encourage them and give them as many options, right? So I definitely try and encourage them to do anything in IT, but my oldest loves art. And I'm like, okay, Angel, you like art. What what do you want to think as terms as you go to school and go to college to get a job. So if you major in art, what job is that gonna get you? Not knocking the artist. Artist is wonderful, but maybe we could flip it into graphic design. Maybe we could, you know, do something on Pinterest or whatever. You could create an app that creates art. There's lots of
You
ways
could,
we could spin it.
you could create an
So
NFT.
what's that?
You could create an NFT, non-fungible token, a Bitcoin.
Right, right.
I
Yeah,
mean,
so I don't
I,
pressure them. I want them to inherit my businesses and run them because mama don't want to work forever, right? But at the same time, I don't want to like make them feel forced that they have to do what mom did. But if what you want to do, you get older and you find ain't making you no money, come back to mama and I'm gonna show you how to get it. So
are
that
there
is.
any rules in your house when it comes to turning 18 years old?
Oh, well, I told my children when they turn 18, mommy is moving to Hawaii or the islands. Okay. You could either stay here with your daddy or you come with me. But either way, you gonna go to school, or if you don't want to go to school, that's fine because I didn't finish. Because to me, you don't necessarily need a college degree to be successful. You just have to have drives. But if you go, you have to go and try. But if you go and you don't like it, then you're gonna get certified in some kind of trade. Okay. But
Hold up. So you don't buy the notion that not everybody's made for college?
no, no, I wasn't. And in all my life, it's funny how you said did I pressure my kids? Because my family were very highly educated. They have doctorates and masters, and they're very known in all of Philadelphia. And there's people that started colleges. Cheney University, my great grandfather started that college. So when I came along, they're
And
like,
we,
"You got
and
to
we,
go to college."
and we should
And
know
I,
Cheney is considered the first HBCU in America. Well,
yes,
it's
I
a
do.
rivalry between Cheney and Lincoln, correct?
Yeah, and my family's connected to both.
Okay, so y'all like authentic, right?
Yeah, well, everybody's passed away, but yes, they were my grandfather, Thomas Logan Sr. He was, involved in the civil rights movement heavily. And But with all that being said, I went to college, but I struggled in high school. I struggled to graduate high school. And when I was like, oh no, I don't want to do this. But I'm very driven, and I had a lot of goals and visions that I wanted to accomplish. But my family, I was kind of like the black sheep for a while, right? But then when I started becoming successful,
This is blackusa.news. If you were the black sheep, that means you were the smart one. You were the blessed one. Because we reversed those stereotypes here.
there
Black
you go.
sheep, black eye, black ball, blacklist. We flipped the script on that. Okay.
There you go.
This is Black History Month. Okay.
Yeah, it is. So that was me. But when they saw me grow and become successful, they were like, okay, well, let's change our way of thinking when it comes to education. I promote education. You need it in life, but school, my vision for college is, unfortunately, I feel like the white man monopolized on the black man's drive for knowledge and education, and he attached a dollar sign to it, where you now have an immense amount of debt, and you get out with a college degree and you make $30,000-$40,000 versus, I have friends who are drowning in debt, and I dropped out. I started working and I started businesses and I moved forward, and I don't have any debt now. And they have debt and they don't make anywhere near as much money as I do. So, education is important, but there's not just one place where you can obtain education.
So at 18, do your children have to leave home?
No,
My
they
mother
they gotta do something though.
My mother said at 18, you are leaving.
No, they gotta do something though. They gotta be in school or working or a combination of both.
And she ain't had to tell me about college because I wanted to go to Morehouse. I wanted to get on that plane to Atlanta and go see Spelman. I wanted to go see. Okay. Right. So myaccesspoint.org, this is alive and kicking right now. People can go there and get an opportunity right now.
Yep.
Why do you care?
That's just how God made me. I care about people. I care about, it frustrates me when I see individuals in a bad situation and I have the keys to fix it, but you have to have the drive to apply the keys. So, it just gives me purpose, because you can make a whole bunch. I make a lot of money, but there's no purpose if I'm not using that money to help somebody else.
Sorry, do we want to work? I'm coming up the strip the other day. I see the Latino man there working. I'm seeing the black man watching the Latino man working. I'm watching the Latino lady put out the cones and all of this to block off the street. And I'm watching my people watch them in our community. And it's like, do we want to work?
Well, I don't like to talk negative, but unfortunately, a lot of people don't. That is the downside of my vision and drive, because I've come across a lot of people that would be like, oh, wow, you're young, you're successful. What do you do? And I'd be like, I do this. They're like, oh, wow, I want to get into IT. I'm like, okay, great. Here's a class, or here's a book. Study. Because these certifications, you don't have to take a class on. You can study yourself and go take the test and get it. And you can go get a job. That's what I did. When you get to that point, where they have to make effort for yourself, and you don't have that drive, and you're complacent, and you're okay because you've been broke for the past all your life, and you make it, you're all right. If you don't have that drive within, then I cannot help you, because I also don't have patience.
So you can hire people from anywhere in the world,
right?
So you can hire people from California.
I could.
Oh wow, we need to get this up and tell the world. What else?
So if you want to help yourself, I am here to support that. But one thing I don't want to be is an enabler. So if you don't, if you want to change your life and you want to get into a different field and you want to get into IT, I can show you how to do it. But if you have to want it yourself.
Good deal. Okay, now tell me about this upcoming year. What is your big goal for 2023?
My big goal is to have at least 3 or 4 successful classes where I get at least 80% of the people in each class certified. Each class only runs about 8 weeks long. 8 weeks for Security Plus, 8 weeks for AWS. So I could fit about 4 in a year without breaking myself. And then hopefully once I have a good past performance, then approach the jails. And because the jails have a lot of programs for these inmates' kids, right? But they're kind of programs that don't really do anything for their future. There's like, they'll give them presents or, they'll help them see their parent that's incarcerated, but they aren't helping them stay out of trouble. They aren't helping them learn how to start a business, So my program, I feel like if I could just get somebody's ear, they would be like, yes, we're on board. So then we send information out to whoever's taking care of these kids, or they're about to graduate high school, and maybe hopefully by the end of the year, possibly go to a few high schools to kind of, I guess, recruit in a way to let them know about your options.
So we have to get this to our elected officials because nobody faces mass incarceration in America more than Black people. We're 13% of the general population, but 50% of the prisons.
Correct.
50% of the murders, 50% of the murder victims, or something like that. Some
Correct.
outrageous number, because I've been G-checked. Oh, those numbers right. Too many of us locked up. That's the damn
thing. And what's sad is that there's so many guys that are dope boys or drug dealers or whatever. They're very smart and they have the potential to be an amazing business owner. They're just applying it in the wrong business.
Do you know they will let
over here?
They will let a murderer out of prison before they let out a drug kingpin, because a drug kingpin knows how to manipulate that money.
Exactly. So if I get a hold of that kingpin and get you in a different field, and you apply that same drive and that same hustle over here, man, you could be a multimillionaire very quickly.
I still don't like the idea of us glamorizing these damn terrorists to sell cocaine, heroin, and crack cocaine in our cities, because there's nothing heroic about destroying and selling poison to your own damn people. I don't care how what rapper says what about it. At the end of the day, you destroyed your own damn community. Yeah.
I mean, yes, but at the same time, I understand that a lot of people are put in positions where they don't have any other options. They're like, oh, okay, go sell drugs, go work at
I'm not buying that.
Target.
I ain't buying that.
You're not?
No.
Well, all I like to do is provide people options and opportunities. Okay. And if you want to keep doing that, you can go ahead and don't call me from that jail number. But if you want to, change your path, because at the end of the day, they trying to get money.
Call from such and such federal facility.
Right. At the end of the day, they trying to get money, and that street money ain't real money. That street money comes and it goes real quick. But if you can get this kind of money, this is long money that you can leave to your children.
And that's very important to you.
Yes.
Okay. So before we close out, is there anything you want to share? I'm going to give you the screen. This is your pitch, and you got to put a plug in for your favorite person. You got to shout out somebody for Black History Month.
Can I shout out you, Donnie? Okay. Because right now you are my favorite person. You're doing so many amazing things in the Black community, and you're very supportive. And unfortunately, the Black community, people that have become successful, they kind of have the crab in the barrel mentality. They don't want to share the knowledge, but they want your resources. But you give it freely, and you're very supportive. So for me, I would support Donnie Glover as my Black History Month. If I could give an award, I would give it to you. but that don't happen.
You are not going to make me cry. But we also got to plug Mr. William Hobson. That's our mutual friend, Mr. William Hobson.
Yes, Mr. William Hobson, because he's another man. He's very quiet. He's in the background, but he has been like one of my main mentors that helped me get into the IT field, helped me learn about government contracting, helped me learn about starting a business and how the money works. And he's just very, and he's helped so many people. You know, he's helped so many people. He's very quiet, and he doesn't like everybody to know about, you know, you can't tell everybody what you're doing. But William Hobson is an amazing man, amazing. He's accomplished so many things. He's someone that I look up to and I admire, and I'm very proud of. So William, if you're listening, that's my man.
So see, he's the real gold standard because he just
He
said
is.
make a phone call.
Yep. And
That's
he's
what
very busy, but he always responds and he'll always try. So I greatly appreciate his presence in my life in the past and present.
I echo the same. He has helped countless people, including me. His
Yep.
address, that was my business address for every bit of 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it only changed because the building had their changed the
Yeah.
building.
Right.
But he has helped. He's helped nonprofits. He's helped make
Yes.
a difference. So again, Sherry, we appreciate you coming out to the event. We also appreciate myaccesspoint.org. And you have to come back again to share this training opportunity whenever you'd like. We want to fill up that class, okay?
Okay. Wonderful.
Okay, so we're going to get on up out of here. I got one more guest to interview. Stick around if you want, but we're going to talk now with Miss Benn. Miss Benn, where you at? Come on back, Miss Benn.
How you doing?
Now, look, I've been trying to practice your damn name all day. What is Sarahia? Sarahia? You know, froze up on me. Where you go at?
Yeah, that's right. That's me. How you doing?
No, pronounce
hear
it
me?
for me. Yeah, pronounce it for
Oh
me.
no. Jesus.
I can hear you. You're okay.
Wait a second. Sarahia. Can you hear me?
Sarahia. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Well, yeah, but you're not on the screen. You cut your camera off.
Sarahia Benn, how you doing? I'm gonna try to come back on the screen. It seemed to freeze up. I'm sorry.
Okay,
Is that
you're
working
fine.
now?
Yeah. So why don't you take the second
Okay,
A
there
out?
you go.
So why don't you take the second A out so I could say Sarahia, but I was like, that's not fluid, Sarahia. No, that a black woman ain't going there. Okay, all right. So
Well-
Sarahia, how you doing? Where you
Well,
at? Are you in Hartford?
I'm doing fine. I'm sorry.
You in Hartford County?
Yes, I am in Hartford County. Oh Lord, yes.
Oh my God, I was in Hartford County. What's up with Hartford County?
Hartford County got a lot of race issues. Let's just say it that way. It's hard to be black in Hartford County and be an advocate. Black people.
Tell me about it.
Yes.
Tell me
It's hard.
about it.
Well, let me just say it this way. Even the black people move here and change. It's something in the water. And so the thing is that it's really hard to advocate for my people because a lot of times they don't know the things that are happening, you know, to them. Yeah, they look at TV and they talk about how Baltimore's this, Baltimore that, while the same thing's happening right up here in Hartford County. And I mean the same thing. We're talking about the environmental impacts, the lack of access to resources to start businesses, low paying jobs, lack of access to healthcare. I mean, just anything you could think of is the same thing as in Baltimore. Even more crime is here in the black areas to a certain extent, and still they act like you'll hear them. And I mean, they don't want to hear this, but I'm gonna say it. They'll still be like, "But we're not Baltimore." I always think it's really kind of crazy, personally.
Sarahia, so what do you do?
Well, I'm actually a nonprofit head. I head the APSCA, which is Sickle Cell Association, as well as the Policy Foundation of Maryland. And so, the Policy Foundation of Maryland is a grassroots organization, and what we do is we advocate for state and county level legislation and policies that impact marginalized communities and veteran affairs. And it could be anything from labor environmental policy to criminal justice reform policy. We literally consult, write, and advocate for this policy on the state level. And we've been doing it for the last 2-3 years. Well, no, 4 years, I should say, really hard. One of the policies that I worked with some of the delegates to get through was the 2021 Police Accountability Bill, which was kind of important. We still got a lot more work to go, by the way. And then another policy was the Climate Solutions Now last year, and then the Transit and Safety Investment Act. And the reason why the Transit and Safety Investment Act was important is because we had transit that was just breaking down, particularly in Baltimore, where the most people are trying to get from one point to another point. And so what that act did was get our fleet in good repair. In other words, it just needed money. It needed money flushed in it. So that's just a few things that I did in the last few years.
Sherryl, you contacted me yesterday and you said you have a problem.
Yes, I do.
What's the problem?
I do. The Advanced Clean Trucks Rule. So the thing is that California has this rule, and this rule has been adopted in multiple states, from Vermont, New York State, and I think Pennsylvania, I think a few other states. And what the importance of this rule is that we're going to transition on a state level, or state fleets, big fleets, and advanced trucks, big trucks, from diesel fuel to electrification. Now, why is that important to the Black community? It's important to the Black community because we disproportionately are impacted by asthma, even 8% higher than the average white person in Maryland. That's one reason. Another reason, our kids are getting on buses and they're inhaling fumes that are just, completely out of control. Clearly, other areas do too, but remember, our kids are on regular city buses as well as school buses at times in the surrounding area of Baltimore City. And so we would get it about, would you say, about 20%, and the average white American would get it about, white Maryland, we get it about 10 to 12%. Now, that's a big significant impact. Another reason why it's important to adopt this rule and get support behind it is that small businesses in general could have financial opportunity, in my opinion. And it's something that really people haven't really looked at. There's construction opportunities. There's the electrician and labor portion, like in the unions, where they're going to have to train to move to this green economy, where a lot of these jobs are going to be six-figure jobs just to be a part in it. Also, just thinking of school buses, I don't think Black people have ever thought that we could own school bus companies and work and get contracts from our local. Well, a lot of us, let me just say it this way, in Harford County don't think of that. Let me just speak in terms of Harford County, because maybe that's just something that in Harford County people don't see as true. So you're right. And so in owning a fleet of that, the state would reimburse, I believe, 30 to 40%.
You've been knowing me all these years, at least via the computer. You never once said, Donnie, why don't you bring the Black Wall Street to Harford County? And I would have told you, I'll think about it. I'd have told you, do you have a Black venue? Because I ain't going to no honky-tonk place. Yeehaw. Let me tell you something. I'm from Baltimore City. The first damn yeehaw, I'm out of there. I'm just letting you know. Yeehaw! All right. And that's the end of Black Wall Street. We'll see you next time, same channel.
Thanks, Donnie. Thanks for the opportunity. I'm going to invite you to Hartford County. I'm not joking.
Well,
When do you want to come?
Security guard. I'm bringing my security. Is Sheriff Jesse Bain still around?
No, Sheriff, he's retired. You know, it's Gaylor now.
Well, I want to bring Sheriff Jesse Bain out of retirement. If you bring me to Hartford County, I need Sheriff Jesse Bain as my escort.
Okay,
and I might need to
got you.
I may need to bring A. Dwight Pettit back up there to Hartford County because I hear he has roots up there.
He does have roots. He has roots in Perryman Peninsula. Yeah, he does. And yeah, he really does. And the funny thing is that he has a connection to my family too, which is kind of funny because I'm related to like 17, 20 families or whatever. So yeah, it's kind of funny. Yeah, he does. I'm not related to him.
How did black people get in Hartford County anyway? Did y'all like escape one day? Like, we're going to Hartford County. Yeah, we're going to Hartford County. I mean, what is it about Hartford County?
I'll just say on my
yeehaw I hear, I'm out of there. I'm telling you.
I hear you. Well,
around for everybody. Ring.
Well, I'll say on my father's side he's not from this area. We're from New York, but on my mother's side, they were born in Havre de Grace. No. Actually, believe it or not, my great grandfather, he came from the Caribbean, and he ended up on a whole lot of space in Havre de Grace. We don't anymore, but I mean, when I say a whole lot of space, he owned so much so that he was able to spend like in the early 1800s or the late 1700s, excuse me. I think it was like $8,000 or $9,000 to bring his wife from the Caribbean, which was unheard of for most black people to be able to afford. So yeah, it was pretty interesting stuff. So that's how my mom's family got there.
Look, we got to start changing this narrative. It's unheard of because they hid a lot of information from us. But I'm not surprised by anything about our history that's been hidden from us, because that was never to the benefit of those trying to keep their foot on our necks. If you're trying to hold somebody else down, you're not going to tell them about their greatness. And
that's right.
We, the descendants of many of those who were oppressed, it is incumbent upon us to go back and look up who our people were, what they did accomplish. Because the person who has or tried to put their foot on their neck is not going to tell you come from greatness, from kings, from queens. That is not their job.
That is correct. Which is why I know a lot about my family. I know a lot of, my cousin wrote a book on my family. I see it. I know.
To remind us that wherever there was somebody trying to put their foot on their necks, there was somebody like Zumbi in Brazil who took his damn spear and was going to put it in him. He was going to put it all the way in him. Come messing with my people. Right. Messing with my women.
That's right.
We know if anybody's going to be a slave, it ain't going to be me. It's going to be you.
And let me tell you, but Donnie, it's like that right now in Hartford County. A lot of the black people up here do have those kind of attitudes, and so it's a process of re-educating themselves. Because I do know where I come from. Every corner I turn on is my family's history. Like my great cousin is named after a bridge out here. He has a historical park and everything, and so everywhere I turn, I cannot avoid who I am. But a lot of the people that are in this area, sometimes I think they just don't put two and two together. And you sometimes have to remind them. So, I agree with you 100%.
Whatever happened to Marianne Lasanti?
Oh, nothing good. I mean, basically all she did was lose her seat, but the party did nothing. The party, all they did was pretend like they did something and did nothing. And let her run.
She called PG County the nigger district.
She sure did. But guess what? You think that's bad. Right. But you think that's bad. Kathy Zalega, who's still part of a delegate part in Hartford County and part in Baltimore County, called the Speaker of House of Delegates a bitch this past summer. And she's out speaking
she
on
wouldn't have
Fox
said
News
that
like
to
it ain't
Joan
nothing.
Carter Conway, because Joan Carter Conway would have whipped her ass up and down that floor.
I
What did
agree.
Adrian do?
I
What
agree.
did Adrian do?
Adrian did nothing. She didn't even
Sheila
respond,
Dixon
which
with a
was funny to me.
sidekick. Sheila Dixon with a sidekick Kathy Shalega up and down the damn
You ain't
Annapolis
lying.
Circle.
You ain't
Yeah,
lying.
see, bullies know who to mess with because
She would have
Adrian
put
is
it in even.
meek. Adrian is meek and mild mannered. Yeah, but they got some black women out there with a timed up force. It been the last time she ever uttered that word in her mouth.
You ain't lying. Because I'll be honest with you, a couple people were like, what you gonna do? I said, well, if Adrian isn't gonna take up for herself, it isn't my job to take up for her. But I tell you right now, last time I saw Zelega, and she doesn't really know me that well, I told her straight up. I said, you better be careful how you talk to this black one. I said, I know you guys think that you could get slick, but don't mess with this one, okay? Just be careful. Be careful about how you talk, because I think that they still think it's the slave era where they could say anything to us. I remember I was in a Walgreens where this older man, he started talking about a few months ago when what's his name, Raphael Warnock won, and he was talking about, oh, I'm from Georgia and it's sad today, and I'm like, what's it sad for? You know, I didn't really want to talk to him. I could tell he was a racist anyway, but he was like, because I got a black senator, a senator that's not on the right side. And I said, dude, do you know where you're at? He was in between me and this other black one. I said, I think you need to go home. And he was like, he said, why? I said, because you might not make it home. And I wasn't joking. I wasn't joking, because I don't think, what do these people think? They're going to sit up here and say this kind of crazy stuff? And
we provide legal services on behalf of Murphy, Falcone, and Murphy, and also Robert the Shields. Those are both two black attorneys. And if you should need them, they are right here in our advertising bars. Big ups to Billy Murphy Jr. and Robert the Shield. If you need it, there you go. Murphy, Falcone, and Murphy.
Murphy, Falcone, and Murphy.
That's right, Sarahia.
But I'm going to tell you something. I wasn't worried one way or the other. Nobody was going to miss that man anyway if something happened. Let me just say it that way.
And only people who are not.
I'm originally from New York. Shoot,
from New York City. From New York City.
I was born in Long Island, Hempstead, which was at that time called Prison Row. But I grew up part of my life in New York City, in Harlem.
Why do they call it Prison Row?
Well, because it was the state prison was there. It was a big state prison there. Yeah. Long Island had all the beauty that you could have. Once again, Donnie, you have. Yep.
Do you know this guy, Irvin Reed?
No, I don't.
Well, you need to go look him up, Sarahia. Irvin Bernard Reed. He managed the campaign for the first black county executive in Prince George's County. His name was Wayne Curry.
I've read the book on that, by the way.
I don't know if that book was written.
That exists.
But if it don't mention Irvin Reed, you got to get some other books.
Probably, you know what it is? It probably did, but I read this book like a couple years ago, and I've read several other books since then. Okay. I'm gonna have to reach out to Mr. Irvin Reed so I can get some more tuition from him. Because I'm always in the business of learning.
Is the grassroots steering committee still in Hartford County?
Which one are you talking about?
I can't remember the young lady's name, but a whole daggone family was involved in it.
I don't think so, because
they did a lot of political activities in Hartford County. That's where
the only thing that's going on here politically for black people is the Democratic Central Committee, and they don't care about black people. Let me just say it that way. The Democratic, we had an African-American Democratic club up here, but my friend Chap, he passed a couple years ago. And ever since then, really nothing's happened with that. is people just kind of let that go. And they kind of let the white legislator that's currently a delegate take over it. So yeah, that'll just tell you what's going on. Because I tried to stop it, but everybody was like, "Oh, you're not working on diversity, inclusion, and you know all this." And I was like, "Yeah, but I mean, it's an African American Democratic club. What does it look like being headed up?" I mean, I'm like, I just thought it was crazy. They thought I was being mean. I was like, I was even accused of being racist. I was like, well, you know what? If I'm racist, then I learned it from you. That's what I
You
told
learned
them.
it from the best. You learned it. You know,
Because I
Baltimore
said,
is the home of segregation.
yeah, I learned it for the.
Baltimore is the
Oh, it
home of
is redlining and
segregation.
everything.
J. Barry Mahul, 1907 to 1911, the rotten bastard. I like to go and dig him up and bury him again somewhere, like in the harbor. Just throw his. Okay, so
He probably
Sarahia,
in
what do you want?
purgatory.
Yeah.
He said,
Yeah.
"What? I didn't hear you.
What do you want people
I
to
didn't hear what
know?
you."
What's the final word?
I just want people to know that in terms of Hartford County, we need support out here. Do you realize that we've never had a Black woman be a legislator at the state level or really at the local level in this area? And partly because of a lack of support. Um, we have Black women that don't support Black women up here, unfortunately, because there's been a certain amount of, I guess, conditioning. And so we need to get out of these first in this area and move towards to non-first, because we have some brilliant minds up here that want to work and help our community, that want to expand the financial resources, businesses. We're trying, at least I know with my foundation, we're trying to find sourcing for them, because many of them don't even understand the procurement system. And many of them probably could benefit from that. And so I just really want the next time that there's an election up here and they see a Black woman, anyone from the state, look at Hartford County and try to support them, because one of the things that I learned from running, it was very hard to get support locally and statewide, because I just think people didn't understand the whole idea. The first thing they
You
thought
got to
was that
run as a
Hartford County was
Republican,
just racist.
Sarahia. You got to run as a Republican up there. That's how you do it.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But, you know, the thing is, what does it look like?
Hold up. Baltimore is 9-1 Democrat. What the hell is the
Right.
benefit for Black people? I'm just trying to figure it out. What
No,
is
I'm
my
not saying
benefit
it is.
being a Democrat? Can you tell me? So
I'm
I
not
can
saying
have
it
good
is.
people like me. My city is screwed up, and it's all damn Democrats. Now, I'm not putting in no
That's
plug
true.
for the Republicans or the Independents. I'm just
I
saying,
get what you're saying,
these people who say they're my friend, they have done nothing.
They're not completely your friend. You're right.
They hook
I mean,
up
you ain't
themselves.
gonna. Donnie, the party ran against me twice, and when I say ran, they put $250,000 against me in 2018, and they probably put over 600,000 against me to make sure I didn't win this time.
Run again
all I
to
was
make them spend their money.
Yeah, yeah. But you know, the thing is that I don't have any great love for some of the decisions that they're doing either. The main problem with running as a Republican up here is whether I could get through the primary, and that would be my main problem. That would be my main issue.
So let me ask you this: when you're going up into Hartford County,
Mm-hmm.
if you go to the left,
Mm-hmm.
who lives to the left off of 24? Well, if you get up there to 24, you make that left. Who's going to the left?
Well, if you go to the left, that's Falston. You got South Bel Air, going up to Northern Bel Air. So you know, if you're going up to the left, huh?
Mostly upwardly mobile. They got money.
I mean, to be honest with you, the district that I live in, which is 34A and 34, has the most money. I mean, they take every resource at it. We got the most hotels and everything.
So if you go up there,
so they got.
Is that to the left?
Yes, it is. But understand, even though they have maybe bigger houses, they don't have the most resources. They're able to live the way that they live because they steal from my district because of a lack of representation. I'm just telling you something that you need to know. My district Yeah, there are people that are making almost six figures in my district, but don't benefit from living in my district. I can just tell you. And I know that that's not really a lot now because of inflation. But when you think of six figures in our district and everything's higher, but six figures up in Falston will take you and get you a mansion. You know, you can live a different life. I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there.
They got some big houses up there.
They are. And that's a lot of generational wealth too, by the way.
But they got tall trees and too many yeehaws. I'm playing with that yeehaw. The first damn yeehaw I hear. We're down here.
You gotta
already know. Sundown.
You gotta come to my district. You gotta come to my district. I got a place. It's specifically for you, Black-owned business, good friend of mine. And
what's the name of it?
We gonna have. It's called James and Joe Cafe. It's in Abingdon, and it's owned by my friends Dante and Alicia Pope. And so we could go there. There's a couple places we could go, but that's the one I would select going to because I actually eat there and like it.
And you promise ain't nobody gonna come out, ain't nobody coming out at nighttime with the hoods and the burning crosses and stuff, right?
No.
Oh, that's Cecil County.
No, guess what? They did try to do that, but we've cured them of that issue.
Okay, way to go, Black people. Stand tall. Stand tall.
No, not all Black people. Not all Black people. Some Black people. I just say that we did because I can tell you that my dad and I definitely dealt with some of them before.
Black power. So tell me about the crime. We can't let you go. I ain't Mackenzie Frost, so you ain't got to worry about that. But Black people will bust a cap up there in Harford County. What's going on with the crime?
They will bust the cap a little bit, but I'll be honest with you, it's not as much busted caps. It's a lot more jackings and stealing and, what I call lower to mid crime. It's not the kind of crime that it's not all about murders and killing each other, although it does happen. But believe it or not, white on white crime is a little bit higher here.
Get the hell out of here.
Let me tell you, they're arresting them left and right. You should see the blotter. Have you ever looked at the sheriff's department's blotter? Like they got like a little joke because Jeff Gaylor, who by the way I know, they decided to make it out of a comedy. So they got these wanted posters and they make comedy. They were like, it's his birthday. Do you want to give him a birthday surprise? Turn him in and just, whatever they could say. It's just like, it's really bad.
I'll tell you what, really when they killed that sheriff up there in Harford County, there was two Harford County sheriffs that got shot. This is about 4 years ago. A white man shot him.
In Abingdon.
A white man shot him.
Yeah.
And they never put his picture on the news. They never put his picture on the news.
Never.
Around the same time, down in PG County, the Ford brothers had a little shootout. Their pictures immediately went on TV. But that white man that shot a few sheriffs in Harford County, his picture never, ever went on the news. And I'm like, hold up. He just killed one of your own and you ain't saying nothing.
Killed two of your own. I know. And guess what? That's the current sheriff. That's the current sheriff.
That's a coward.
And guess what? There's no media up here that would actually put it out or be willing to put it out without permission.
I'll come up there, but I got to bring Black Stevie and the boys with me because I need some security.
That's all right. I hear you, but I'll protect you.
I'm telling you, we're down here.
Hey, Donnie, I'll protect you because I am a gun-toting, gun-carrying legally woman, and I believe in. I don't play that because, at the end of the day, everybody want to talk about less guns. No, this country is never going to get rid of it. It's in the Constitution. So as long as it's in the Constitution, Miss Benn will be owning guns.
There's a new sheriff in town.
That's guns and butt.
You should run for office, and I'm going to do your commercial. There's a new sheriff in town named Sarahia Benn.
I know. I actually have somebody who can run for it. He's way more qualified than I am. So I think I'd stay for that for me.
Bring him
I know. I will talk to him. Because I tried to get him to run in 22. He was just too scared. I was just like, he was like, I'm not ready. I'm like, you're ready? I'm like, you need to run. Like, that's what I mean. People are scared of stuff. They don't want to do stuff. So I'm gonna try. So we're gonna bring people on, and so we can
We,
learn a little
we
bit more about Harford County.
we need a show from Harford County. We need a show on this
Okay.
network once a week from Harford County. Can you help me facilitate
Okay.
that?
I surely will. Absolutely.
Because
Because I can
I
tell
got
you about
friends that live
Harford
up there,
County.
but I worry about y'all. Do they got churches up there?
Yes, they do. And even those are hoodwinks sometimes too.
Do they play gospel music, or is it like,
Yes, they do. Guess what?
oh,
No, they play gospel music because I'm known as the bass player in the church because I used to go around to each church and be the first call bass player. So yeah, they do really play gospel music in some of these churches. Some of them they don't, but really they do. And some of them they shout. Yes.
because I've been to some Presbyterian churches. Oh, stand up, sit down. Oh, stand up, sit down. Praise the Lord, sister. We're going to get up out of here, Sarahia Benn. How can people
Okay.
get in touch with you, Sarahia?
Well, you can email me actually with my first and last name at gmail.com or the Policy Foundation of Maryland at gmail.com. I'm all over. You can Google me. I mean, I'm not that hard to find. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. On Twitter, I am SBen for Maryland. On Facebook, I'm Sarahia Benn or Sarahia Benn for Maryland. On Instagram, I'm Sarahia Benn for Maryland. I think I even have a TikTok that's Sarahia Benn. So I am just, if you find my name, you can, I mean, it's not like it's that common. You could always find me on any of those platforms or email me. I listen to everything that everybody has to say. And I'm always looking to work with people to help policies that help the Black community, because we are now we are part of the 54% coalition, as I call it, which is multiply marginalized people for the first time in history in Maryland. And we need to start acting like that. Specifically, one more policy while I'm thinking about it, the marijuana cannabis policy. If we don't find a way this time to get in on this recreational business for marijuana and cannabis, we are going to pay dearly in terms of finances in our community because it's legal. It's not going to go back. We don't need to say hallelujah and say no, whatever. We need to actually go and find ways and advocate to these legislators because they're trying to put it through secretly. By the way, that was what Kathy Zalega was talking about on Fox News yesterday. You know, a broken clock is right twice a day. And she was actually right in that interview, but she's normally not right. And so they're trying to push through this policy under secrecy and not really let everybody know what's going in it. And so we need to advocate to make sure we're getting our hands into that business, because that business is going to be multi-billions. And when I say multi-billions, multi-billions, can you imagine that kind of money coming to our community? And what kind of ways we can build up our community and send down generational wealth. You know, you want to talk about reparations? That policy is a reparation if we pushed it in the right way, because they're not just going to give us reparations, unfortunately, not the way it's going right now. So to me, that is one of the most important policies that needs to really be focused in the Black community, and not just education. We don't need their education. We can make our own schools and educate ourselves, like Malcolm X said, because you see what they've done with us already with their schools. I'm just trying to say.
So we're going to get up out of here. I don't know. I think you got some preachers in your lineage and some lawyers too. But we're going to bring you back, and we need to get a show coming live out of Harford County.
Okay. Okay. All right, Donnie. We'll talk about it. Well, it was great being on your show, and everybody, thank you. Take care.
Good morning, world.